What up, kinfolk? This is your boy Screwface Capone in the house. I'm experimenting with a new format for the 5-Bit News segment. Try to make this a bit more clear than just coming off rambling and stuff. Also, I'm playing with some new software. On top of that, there was Nintendo Direct this past week, and BlizzCon Online was this past weekend. So, on top of the other stuff that I had to do, that's why this thing is going to be a bit bigger and it's a bit later than usual. Still, it's all good though. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon. That way you'll be the first to know when I put out a new video. Without no further ado, let's jump into the news. As I said, Nintendo held a Nintendo Direct conference this past week. While there was no Metroid Prime 4 or Breath of the Wild 2 news, as a matter of fact they apologized for no Breath of the Wild 2 news, there were a lot of little things that stood out, so I'm going to go through some of the bigger announcements. So while there wasn't any news on Breath of the Wild 2, Nintendo did confirm that 2011 Skyward Sword, originally released on the Wii, will be coming to Switch later this year. The game will have two control schemes, one where players can use the Joy-Con controls to replicate the original Wiimote and nunchuck-driven swordplay, and another which will make use of the right analog stick. Skyward Sword was a pretty well-received entry in the franchise when it first came out, so if players missed out the first time, then this is going to be a great chance for them to check it out a second time. So again, it's going to release later this year, so that's definitely something you're going to want to keep your eye out for. Pyra and Mithra from Xenoblade Chronicles 2 were confirmed to be the next Smash Ultimate DLC characters. They'll be joining Sephiroth, Minecraft Steve, and Min Min as part of the second Fighter Pass lineup. As Pyra and Mithra are Echo characters, this leaves 2 slots remaining for the final 2, and that's if Nintendo doesn't decide to go with a third Fighter's Pass. I mean, again, not my first guess, but still, it speaks to the random nature of Smash Bros. I mean, again, who knows who could be showing up. I still got my money on Master Chief showing up. In news that will no doubt have fans of obscure Famicom titles rejoicing, Nintendo announced that the 2 Famicom Detective Club games, The Missing Heir and The Girl Who Stands Behind, are on their way to the US for the first time ever as Switch remakes. Produced by the late Gunpei Yokoi, the 2 games had players solving murder cases throughout the Japanese countryside. Originally released on the Famicom Disk System, the games will later be remade for the Super Famicom and re-released on subsequent Nintendo consoles, most recently being the Wii U eShop. This Switch release marks the first time that the games will receive an English localization in a Western release. Who knows, maybe soon we'll finally get a version of Mother 3. Mario Golf Super Rush was also announced. Pretty much as it says on the tin, the game will feature Mario characters playing golf. The game will feature several modes, including an RPG-style campaign mode, and Speed Rush, a chaotic mode in which players take shots and proceed to the next hole at the same time, trying to stand in each other's way, kind of like Mario Kart. Now, golf isn't necessarily my cup of tea, but when it comes to the Mario sports titles, developers always make them zany enough to appeal to the masses. Personally though, I like to see Mario Water Polo, or even Mario Football. The American version, not soccer. Square Enix released a new demo for its upcoming RPG, Bravely Default 2. As you know, it's one of the mini games I got my eye on this year, and it's coming out this week. I'll be doing a pump it or dump it sometime this week as well, so stay tuned. Speaking of role-playing games, Square also announced Triangle Strategy, a tactical role-playing game with graphics reminiscent of Octopath Traveler. Taking place in a world battling over limited resources, the game promises to feature a story where your actions have consequences. Feature a mechanic called the Scales of Conviction. You'll have to make a series of decisions that will have an impact on the story as you play through it. Octopath Traveler is one of my favorite role-playing games in recent years, so no doubt I'm excited about an RPG by the same developers. If this Scales of Conviction mechanic plays out as a promise, the game could have a very compelling and mature storyline, and we usually don't see that in a Japanese RPG. While this game has a demo available on the Switch, the game isn't due to be released until next year. The Ninja Gaiden Master Collection will be coming to PC and all current generation systems later this year. The pack will feature Ninja Gaiden Sigma, Ninja Gaiden 2 Sigma, and Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge, which are all enhanced versions of the original titles, and the game will contain most of your additional content. However, there isn't much word on what, if any, enhancements the games will receive. Still, this marks good news for fans of the franchise. Ninja Gaiden and its sequels came from the mid-2000s masterclass of hyperkinetic action games that also included Devil May Cry and God of War. If Koei and Tecmo can get the ports right, it'll be 2004 all over again. Who knows, maybe we might even see a new Ninja Gaiden game one day. Finally, Splatoon 3 was announced with a brief teaser. Not much was shown about the game, other than it hinted at a post-apocalyptic setting. Still, this is going to be good news for fans of the Nintendo multiplayer shooter. The game will be releasing next year, and we'll no doubt be learning more about it as the year goes on. Switching gears, BlizzCon Online was this past weekend. I won't go over everything that went on as I'm not much of a World of Warcraft guy, but the online show did contain news and updates for everything from Hearthstone to Overwatch 2. However, there were two items that caught my attention, so I want to hit on those. One was the release of Blizzard Arcade Collection, which contained remastered ports of 3 classic titles, Rock'n'Roll Racing, Blackthorn, and The Lost Vikings. Originally, these titles came out during the 16-bit era for the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, so it's cool to see them again. The compilation is made available for $20 on PC and all current generation systems, and it gives players the option of playing the original game or an enhanced mode with various quality of life upgrades. Also, if you're going to play Rock'n'Roll Racing on Twitch, you might want to turn the volume off. Secondly, as was rumored a few weeks ago, Activision and Blizzard are indeed working on a remastered version of Diablo 2, which is of course being developed by Vicarious Visions. Called Diablo 2 Resurrected, the game will feature several graphical enhancements, quality of life improvements, redone cinematics, and gameplay cross-progression across all platforms. Diablo 2 is a much beloved game when it was first released decades ago. Now let's hope the remake can capture what made it so special. Although if the Warcraft 3 debacle is anything to go by, there will no doubt be cause for concern. Still, we'll have a chance to find out for ourselves when the game launches later this year. This past week, Warner Bros. Revealed the first trailer for its upcoming Mortal Kombat reboot movie. The trailer gives us our first look at the movie's rendition of many iconic characters from the franchise, and it promises to stay true to the game's violence. The game's plot centers around Cole Young, a new character created just for the movie played by Louis Tan. An MMA fighter and a family man, Cole gets attacked by Sub-Zero and unites with a group of fighters slated to defend Earthrealm in Mortal Kombat. The movie will release in both theaters and on HBO Max streaming this April. It will mark the first time the series has hit the big screen since 1997's Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Do you think it can break the stigma that most video game adaptations face? Let me know in the comments. Speaking of fighting games, Street Fighter's Ryu and Chun-Li are available as skins in Fortnite. In its quest to merge with all of pop culture, the two Street Fighter mainstays are available in Fortnite's shop. With Wolverine also having been in the game in the previous season, it's a bit disconcerting that we have Ryu fighting Wolverine in Fortnite before they're fighting each other in another Marvel vs. Capcom game. At this point, I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Golden Girls, MC Hammer, and NFL Super Pro in the game next. Although personally, if I can't blast an opponent with a Hadouken, what's the point? Finally, the Xbox cult hit Stubbs The Zombie Rub Without a Pulse will be coming to Switch, along with the Xbox One, PC, and PlayStation 4 this March, thanks to Aspire Media. This isn't a remaster or a remake, it's the original game, but with quality of life improvements added and achievements. Originally released in 2005, the game cast players as the titular Stubbs The Zombie, who was killed in 1933, only to come back from the dead as a zombie in 1959. You get to eat brains for health, kill civilians, and raise them from the dead as part of your zombie horde. Stubbs was developed by Wide Load Games, which had been established by Bungie co-founder Alexander Seropian and made use of the Halo engine. It was available on Xbox and PC. It was available for digital purchase on Xbox 360 as an Xbox original shortly before being removed in 2008 due to technical issues. A sequel was planned but ultimately canceled when Wide Load shut its doors in 2014. This release will be welcome news as the original game goes from anywhere from $60 to a couple hundred on eBay. The game is due this March. So that's it for this week's 5-Bit News. I know this week was a bit longer than usual, but there was a lot to go through. Anyway, if you like what you just saw, click the thumbs up icon. And if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button and click the little bell icon. That way you'll be the first to know when I put out a new video. And let me know what you think in the comments. If you subscribed, and then let me know, and I'll give you a shout out in the next video. Also, again, I got some stuff I'm working on this week, a new episode of Gaming Archaeology, so you're definitely going to check that out. And I also got the first installment of the King of the Fighters retrospective coming within the next couple of weeks. I was hoping to have that done this weekend before my birthday, but things came up, so I'll have this Gaming Archaeology, and I got some other stuff coming on the way too. Also, I'll be moving my game streams to another channel, Screwface Capone Streams for You. So if you like watching strictly gameplay replays and stuff, that's going to be the channel you want to check out. Again, like I said, like, comment, subscribe, and until next time, I'm out. 51,000 G, kinfolk.